Hi, my name is Colin Gallinall. I am an enterprise account executive at RapDev, and I cover our Datadog practice. The biggest concern that we see with most healthcare organizations is the risk of leaking sensitive data. In many cases, these organizations adopted technology a while ago, and it was a massive undertaking and fairly stressful to get it all stood up in the first place. And then it becomes just a good enough standard moving forward, where folks will continue to lean on legacy technology because they haven't had any major issues. As a result, applications go unupdated because no one knows how to stay current. A lot of data gets left behind and lost on these physical infrastructures that no one's really looking at. And the idea of cleansing this and only moving what matters, it scares people. And without having expertise on all of these cloud-based or automation-based tools, taking that on enterprise-wide is intimidating. In many cases, healthcare organizations don't get to leverage some of the more modern observability offerings that a tool like Datadog would bring, like application performance monitoring or real user monitoring, because their applications are so old that they're not run on anything modern enough to support these tools. As a result, the organizations rely super heavily on logs, and logs by their nature are a record of something that's already happened. So setting up all of your alerting and workflows based off of logs means that you're reactive. And when you're reactive and people's lives are on the line, it puts a lot at risk. A good example of customer impact when it comes to a healthcare organization is lots of us leverage testing facilities for blood work, urine tests, what have you. And typically you're reliant on your doctor sending a script in for you, so you show up and sign in. There's an issue with the application that receives those prescriptions. So having this kind of visibility into a potential slowdown or a potential outage, it's not just a matter of like incidents piling up in your ticketing system. There's tens to hundreds of humans that have taken a day off of work to come in and get their testing done that now, one, wasted a day, and two, you're adding to the company's backlog of customers they have to serve. One thing we're seeing a lot of more recently is organizations starting to consider Datadog as a security tool in the healthcare space as well. And I spoke at length about the opportunity to reduce the amount of logs you're capturing, and that terrifies security engineers, especially when you're talking about sensitive data and customer information. What RapDev brings to the table ensures along a migration is that you're not leaving anything behind that could be meaningful from a security perspective. Even if your security isn't necessarily living in Datadog today, we'll make sure that the logs that you need to keep your organization secure, but also keep track of performance of your tooling, are all migrated, and anything that is left behind wasn't meaningful. And you'll still have access to it in cold storage, but again, ensuring that you're only spending money on the logs that are meaningful from a troubleshooting or security standpoint are what you're bringing into the platform, are one of the areas that RapDev brings a ton of value. And then once we have all of the correct logs in the platform and we've developed an efficient logging strategy from both application and security perspectives, RapDev has a managed SOC offering, and as a result, we've seen hundreds or thousands of security postures. And we help you translate your security rules from whatever tool you're using today to Datadog. We just did a major migration off of Logarithm for one of our healthcare customers and introduced a package of custom security rules that we found to be potentially meaningful to them. And the following weekend, we identified an active attack. So it's something that we're seeing regularly in the space today and something that we're prepared to help with. One of the biggest gaps that these healthcare organizations that are using like a number of different tools for security suffer from is that tool sprawl, where you have alerts being fired from 14 different places, typically to a ServiceNow or Big Panda, where the rest of the event management and correlation is done. But the fact of the matter is, no matter how finely tuned your event management is, there's always going to be gaps and losses of context while you're firing all of these alerts from different tools. And the noise created from single thresholds and all of these different tools that only have one type of telemetry in that platform, it's impossible for a team to triage all of this. So one of the biggest benefits of consolidation into a tool like Datadog is that shift away from single thresholds to composite monitors, which will reduce a large chunk of your alert noise right up front. And then to take it a step further, Datadog leverages tags at the core of all of its correlation, and having a single unified tagging strategy within that one observability platform gives you the ability to be more intelligent with the alerts you set up, and we start writing if-then statements. We only want this to fire if it requires human interaction, and then to take that one step further, Datadog offers workflows. So So if there's any like recurring events or regular maintenance tasks that we're expecting to produce an alert, we can automate that immediately with a workflow to solve the problem, close the alert, and everyone moves on with their lives, and no human was ever introduced to the problem. RapDev brings a modern approach to a lot of these legacy problems where we help you make decisions around what does good look like, where have we seen organizations stumble and make bad decisions. But we can also help with some tactical tasks, like helping organizations that haven't done a great job of updating their applications or deploying to hardened environments on old OpenShift environments. We've seen it all, and we've worked our way through these problem children. So we can help you from stubbing your toe along the way and ensuring these are done in a timely and efficient manner, which helps eliminate that concern of not getting it done before our next tool renews.